goes, it's I know what it is when they change some stuff on there when it goes live and it opens up another tab, but then it streams into your I don't someone jacked up something. All right, people, we're live this last but like I said, this is last Sunday of spring. Next week is first day of summer. Um, and it's Father's Day. Though I'm not a father. Say, all you fathers out there?
Hello. Yeah. I get to claim dibs next week then for some things, I guess.
Yeah.
But while we're talking, let me give one more plug for my little daughter who's going to launch her business on this Tuesday, the 15th.
Okay.
Yep. So I'm very excited to see how things go.
You'll try to get her on our Sunset Sunday just so she can plug her business to an audience.
Oh well, I'm gonna do a Facebook Live on probably on Tuesday evening, and then I'll see if she'll do a Sunset Sunday Live with us.
Okay. That's just to give people a thing about all these young entrepreneurs, these millennial entrepreneurs that are out there. Especially, there's an abundance of females that are, going into business for themselves because people are tired. They're not going to go back pre-pandemic to the wage gap that they were, dealing with. I was talking to this acquaintance friend or whatever you want to call her. She's Caucasian, but talking about how you go into business, you go into the workforce, and how the gender thing is really a prevalent thing amongst all women in the workforce, and the stress level. And I talked about this once before. We talked about it, about how the type of economy that we're living in is not a merit-based economy. And for you guys that don't understand what that means, is that a merit-based economy is like when you go to a job and you promise a salary, whatever, 50, 60, 70, 80, no matter what you don't do whatever, unless you do something real messed up, you get that salary, okay?
Right.
Now we are in what we call a performance-based economy. Be it, especially now, they pay you based off of they give you some kind of base salary and then commission. Now that's where she's at. And I said, well, they've been doing that for a while. And based off of what that is that if you say, for instance, you're working and I don't know what her base salary, but the combination of her base salary and commissions add up to about 85K, which ain't bad for a single person.
Right.
But the stress level is so high. And she was talking about how I was talking about there was some dancing stuff going on. And she was talking about she already has a nervous disorder, and job-wise, it was affecting her because her stomach was all upset. I said, there ain't no job on earth worth that happening, messing up. That's why I always say at the end of Sunset Sunday, don't let the jobs put you in an early grave, because they will. And right there, the job is affecting her and she already has this disorder. So why keep doing something that's making you physically sick?
Exactly.
When now there's so much opportunity, tools, sources that you don't have to do that. Like what we're gonna talk about tonight is about, you know, there's a big popular, I don't want to say popularity, but a big noise out there about cryptocurrency, which I knew about cryptocurrency a few years ago. It was developed by the Japanese guys. It's just as a digital currency. But a lot of people don't understand all digital currency runs on a platform. Digital currency could have not run if we didn't have the internet. This is like social media. The internet is a foundation for other distribution lines, as you should put it that way.
Right.
For advertising and marketing. That's what social media is. The internet was built for communication towards different entities and everything. Social media was built on top of the internet as far as advertisement, sales, marketing, and all that other stuff. But without that, social media would not exist. Now we are entering a phase of distribution lines to finance, cryptocurrency, banking, finance, and all these other things. That foundational thing is called what they call the blockchain. Blockchain is a sort of internet foundation that runs the crypto currencies, okay? Like all the platforms for advertisement on social media. You got YouTube, Instagram, all those other things. Okay, now cryptocurrency is ran on a foundation called the blockchain. It's just to make it short, it's just internet for financial entities. That's all it is. It's an internet platform for financial stuff, for those kind of things. A lot of people are there's been a lot of controversy whether this is going to go mainstream. It ain't going to go away. They're talking about it's volatile, but everything's volatile. There's other digital currencies that are out there. Okay, Bitcoin is just one of the ones that came on first. You got Ethereum and some other ones you got out there. It's like I've invested some stuff. I got some dividends made just for an investment of $10. I use Coinbase, Stash, just some other ones I got investments in. But these are the kind of things that the wealthy do. In the last 20 years, we have been given the opportunity to do just as what the rich, the wealthy do, because we don't have to have the expenditures, like I said before, starting a business, the digital business online. Now you got investments you can just get into depending on what the market's buying. Another friend of mine said she noticed how she made some money just off of $1 investment. Now, if you invested more than that, 10, 20, 30, or $1,000, yeah, you're gonna make more on your back end. But you don't have to. You can start off slow, and when you start making some other money through your business, whatever, you start taking that money and investing into other commodities. This is what the rich do. Okay, everybody always talking about what the rich do. This is like more Buffett does. He's an investor. Okay, he does traditional type investing. Okay, Warren Buffett is a billionaire, and everybody, we still getting this thing about all these billionaires. We got the president talking about people paying their fair share. First of all, until you change the tax laws in this country or whatever, y'all need to stop talking about who needs to pay their fair share. They are paying their fair share according to the tax laws that allow them for the tax shelters. That's what they're doing. Until you change the laws, all this talk about who needs to pay their fair share is bullshit. Change the laws, then you have a means to do some things. Or say until you change the laws, all this mess. That's why I didn't vote. I wasn't too thrilled with what's her name that was running for president.
Elizabeth Warren.
Yes, she was always talking about that shit. And I said, you're not, you guys have been in Congress and all that for 30, 50, whatever years. And you're the ones knew what, that's the only thing I have to agree, and you're not gonna hear me say this too much, agree with the orange fat man that was president. Y'all was in Congress for 30 fucking years or more. You knew what the tax laws were, and some of y'all benefited also. Now you want to say we need to change it for the million and billionaires that some of y'all are too, and then you gonna talk about they need to pay their fair share. Well, fuck. Change the laws first. You ain't gonna make nobody change the way they make money until you change laws that allow them to do what they do. That's what people need to understand. We need to be more educated from a financial side. Politics, finance, all the same thing. Just like in the third Godfather. Look, Casey, he talked about, he said, politics, a gun. Finance is knowing when to pull the trigger. Okay? Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of truth to that. We need to understand that this is how all this shit works. Man, I just got off the phone with a friend of mine I've known for shit since the 70s. Well, Mike Austin, you know him, Kent. He came over here around my birthday.
Oh, okay. Yes.
We're talking about exactly about a lot of different things that was going on. We're talking about the situation with Bill Cosby, because they've been trying to reboot a different world, but because of his name and attachment to it, it's been a struggle. And with the situation, it's all finances, all politics, it's all that kind of stuff. Even in this business we call digital marketing, network marketing, all these network marketing entities that we see, I don't care which one you in, there's political things that are involved with it. I wouldn't be surprised even when you see some of the people that you see as quote unquote the leaders, there's some political things and some financial things that are involved with that. Not so much they were smarter than anybody, but you had certain people take certain people by the hand and help them to do certain things. But that's what all kinds of groups do. Okay, the only ones that have a lot of problems with that seems like the black, not even in the Latin. See, I'm both. I sit in the Latin and I sit in the Afro-Cuban and Latin type things. And what I'm seeing anymore, I don't know if any of you watched, I watched the movie The Heights. In The Heights, that's on. If you haven't seen it, watch that movie. See, if the biggest problem of most people that live outside of New York, they're not exposed to a lot of ethnic things. The Heights is an area in New York. I haven't been to New York in 15 years. For my it used to be primarily Dominican, but like East LA used to be primarily Chicano Mexican. But now with this influx of Latin people coming into the country, they're all mixed up. You get Puerto Rican, Dominican, Cuban, all those kind of people that are mostly in those, the West East Coast is primarily more of your Caribbean mixed type folks. And they look like from your color, Kent, to mine, and some even lighter. And this is where I think there's a problem in the Black community that don't get that, because African Americans that are mainlanders that don't have any lineage to the Caribbean, which you do, but you don't, because there's no way you could have come to the New Passage without stopping there. They stopped there first.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? But there's either a jealousy or a disparity of when you're dealing with Caribbean people and mainlander Blacks, because it's more of a cultural thing. But on the whole, we're all shit at the diaspora. Okay, all share that diaspora, just maybe different language, some different cultures. There's different language and different cultures from people in the South, blacks in the South than the blacks in the North, even with white folks. I mean, really, if you think about it, and why we argue about who's more black or who's less black, because they come from Cuba or they come from Puerto Rico or Trinidad or Bermuda or the Bahamas. Everybody in those areas, like I said, they share the same diaspora, which is Africa. Okay, once you start understanding all that kind of stuff, you need to cut all this squabble about who's black enough. Y'all, you share that same bloodline. The problem is it's different cultures because of where you stop, who you mixed with. And ain't nobody in this, just because you're darker don't mean that your lineage or your bloodline is always dominant. I can prove this. There's a girl here in Columbus who married a white guy. She's your complexion, Kent.
Okay.
Does the, what does she do? She does the lottery thing. She lives here in Columbus. She had a child. I think the child probably 67 years old. Child looks whiter than white. Okay. So my point being is to get this attitude that African gene always dominates everything else really is bullshit. Because right there proves that wrong. So I can prove stuff wrong by just being said. Oh, yeah, pull up a picture there. I've seen this a lot. I mean, it just all depends, where it falls. Now, if the African people are the creator of all other people, then it's all really going to depend on, like I said, how all stuff jumps. Because if that's the case, you already got that, what we call the white gene or this gene or whatever already in you. And it ain't got nothing to do with whether you mixed somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Because if black women are the creator of all other ethnicities that come out, that's there. Ain't got shit to do whether you were raped by whoever or whatever. You already got that DNA there.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to get a point across. So, like what we're living in today is that we're living in a digital age of, why I say this digital currency is going to probably change over what we got. We're running right now on what we call fiat money. If you don't understand anything about the gold standard and what happened back in especially in the 70s, we was on a gold standard probably 2 or 3 times. The last time is when Nixon took U.S. off the gold standard. Gold standard means that the dollar bill was backed by gold. Right now, the dollar bill ain't backed by nothing.
Right.
So the dollar bill can be duplicated. It can be, sending out, what's the one? Well, it's already fiat money already now. But right now, all because the only reason why we haven't gone to what I call a hyper recession. Let me read this. It's because we are still, and that was being tested the last administration. We are still looked upon as the persons of the global economy. Once that goes away, people, this is what you got to understand. Once that goes away and other people start bringing up other currencies, America will be screwed, and they'll go to it. You think $3 a gallon of gas is high now? Or stuff has gone up? Just think about gas could cost you $50 a gallon. Milk could cost you $100 a pint. I'm just throwing out shit out there. This is why you got to understand what's going on economically in the world, because that way you make different moves as a business person, and that is crucial. What was your thoughts about the cryptocurrency? You know, we had a training about that, and on this past Wednesday,
Yeah,
they didn't go into a lot of stuff that I'm going to.
I didn't go into a lot, and I'm still, and as I admitted earlier today, I'm still a novice. I'm still a novice to the whole deal. But with that being said, you've got you've got to be at least open to the fact that the paper currency that's going, for most of us, that's going to, you know, within at the very least within the next 10, dare I say, 15 years, paper currency is going to be like the Jerry curls of the 80s. I mean, very few people are going to have paper currency within the next.
Here's something about the book I always refer to people: fiat money. It says when President Nixon severed the U.S. dollar from the gold standard in 1971, the United States no longer needed gold, silver, or gems or anything else in its vaults to create money. See, right now, you hear the Republicans and Democrats argue about who's spending what. Always talking about the Democrats are spending more money. Ain't got nothing to do with them or they both spend a lot of money. Why? Because the U.S. government is allowed to print fiat money. Okay, there's no back in the day before then, the U.S. dollar was a derivative. What are derivatives? Derivatives are parts of certain things. The dollar bill was a derivative of gold. That means what the equal amount of the dollar matched the equal amount of what the gold that you had in the vaults. So right now, there's no such thing as a derivative of gold because gold's not the standard. The true wealth behind the dollar bill was the gems, the gold, and everything. Right now, there's nothing like that. Okay, so if the other countries decide that they weren't going to take U.S. Money, we'd be fucked. One of the reasons they said they killed Gaddafi was because they thought that he was trying to bring in a new currency in it. That was something I read.
That was something I've read too.
Okay. Yeah. The U.S. government is allowed to print money at will. That's what they're doing. When they sent out those stimulus checks to everybody, we always talking about, well, things are expensive. Fuck that. You need to understand. They can print what kind of money when they want to, how they want to, when they want to. They ain't got to ask nobody. They print the money out. Yeah. And the banks, I could do a whole webinar on, or maybe I should one time, on how the working class is being fucked by the financial institutions of us. But you're only going to be fucked by them when you don't understand them and how they work. Federal Reserve, Treasury, all those were not made to serve the working class. They were made to serve the ultra rich. Okay, your Treasury, your Federal Reserve, all those type of things were not made for the working class. They were not made for the worker bee. Once you understand that, that's why you'll put your money in different things, like these cryptocurrency investments. Banks only give you 0.3%, if that, on your money that you put in their accounts. They use your money to loan out to other people. Did you know that, people? If you didn't know that, you know that now. This is what the banks do. That's why it's not so much. You hear all these financial people talking about, you need to save. Save for what? Banks don't give you shit. They'll give you no return on your money. Why would you put your money in a savings account that does not give you a return, and the motherfuckers are using their money to serve out to their cronies? That makes sense. This is why people like Warren Buffett understand that, and they invest in stuff that they get advantage of. But we can't tell the people in the United States that the rich need to pay their fair share when you motherfuckers are the ones that set up and keep protecting the same shit, the same system that you say that we need to have them pay their fair share. That's bullshit. I'm talking about the president we got now. All of them. Okay? I'm talking about Obama, I'm talking about Biden, all of them. The Bushes, they all are there. The presidency, I'm keeping it real. The presidency is not as powerful as everybody keeps, but we've been told. Presidency has its checks and balances. That's why you got all this Congress and all this shit. And just like I said this to my mother before. I said, what was the purpose of the Atlanta vote? The Atlanta vote didn't make the Democrats a majority. It just made them equal. And you got the vice president to break a tie. Well, that ain't a majority. Okay, why you made it more? We made more shit out of that after the election didn't need to be, and they still fighting over whether we need infrastructure, and y'all want to say Democrats are majority. That's bullshit. You're talking on the side of your neck. There ain't no majority in there. If it was a majority, this shit would have passed. There'd been a whole lot of things would have passed. If Democrats were the majority in the Senate and all that shit, and barely a majority in the House, they wouldn't be going all through all this shit, talking this shit. It's fruitless. There's a game everybody's playing with the American people. American people need to speak the fuck up and say, y'all full of shit. Like I'm saying right now. Y'all need to go to your Congress people and say, y'all are full of shit. You can't tell us we are this and that, and then y'all can't get nothing passed because y'all ain't the majority in nothing. That's what you need to understand. That's the game that both sides play. And you know, I guess friends talking about, well, the left is doing this. All y'all fucking up. Okay? All y'all fucking up. Because you answer to something else, that's another topic. Okay? That's another topic. What's your thoughts on this, Ken? You were a political science major.
Oh,
so you should know a lot about this shit.
Yeah, hey, it's been done since the days of Washington and the Federalist and what they used to call the Democratic Republicans. It's been done since the old Whig Party, which eventually turned into the Republican Party. So this is definitely not anything new. It's been going on since the Republic was formed, and if we don't call attention to it, as I think the American people are waking up to this now. It's going to keep on continuing. But if something or someone does not change it now, as you say, and this is the only time I'm going to say this too, that the Agent Orange, as you said, stated that you guys knew about these laws, didn't try to enact any tax reforms, and now you want to try to enact some changes or have the wealthy pay their fair share. Well, under the law, they have been paying their fair share. So what's the big deal about the wealthy paying their fair share now?
Yeah, because they're doing exactly what the laws allow them to do. So
then the orange one on that because yeah.
To walk around until
and power. Well, power doesn't concede anything without a demand.
Yeah. So
and maybe to some degree, and I'm not saying it was right. It was right because that whole insurrection thing was in my opinion was not cool. But you can see why folks were showing their ass that day, because they wanted to demand power, and they weren't afraid to take it, or attempt to take it, I should say.
Well, the next time is probably that they're going to take it. And you can't keep people, if we hear these terms, people being woke, and not a lot of people still ain't woke. Some, like I always said, all you woke motherfuckers need to get some rest so you really are aware of what's going on, because this the way that crypto is going, another currency, but they'll find some way even with that to corrupt that, because if we don't get the digital infrastructure together and they're hacking into, you're gonna understand something. This stuff, like I said earlier, all this stuff runs on a foundation of digital commerce, digital distribution, and it all runs through that chain of distribution. If they're able to go and shut down certain things through digital warfare and all that, what do you think they'll do to cryptocurrency?
Yes.
Okay. If you're running, you would have to run half digital and half what we got now, because if they shut down cryptocurrency with some stuff, you wouldn't have no way to pay for goods and services. You wouldn't have anything tangible because it will all shut down. All cryptocurrency, see, digital is nothing but zeros and ones. That's all it is. When you get direct deposit directly into your bank account, it's based off of zeros and ones. It's digital, really. And that's kind of backed on what the banks also have, because if they don't have enough money in it to cover what you got in there, they call this thing a run on the bank. Okay, that's another subject.
Exactly.
All right. And see, when we've gone from all these having to go and a check, see, when you get a check from your bank, from your companies, they got to make sure everybody can cover that shit. It's the same thing with digital. They can just do it a little faster. But if you have an infrastructure that's vulnerable like the US, there's going to be some problems when you're trying to transfer digital money, currency, crypto, digital, because the power, the enemies are going to be able to tap into that, because it runs through infrastructure called the internet, blockchain, and all that other stuff. If they can get in there, they'll get in there and disrupt that. So the first thing we are going to have to be aware of is that America's infrastructure digitally is going to have a defense mechanism. When they were talking about, I said, what needs to happen in the US, like they got defense mechanisms from somebody foreign coming on our shores, okay? They send out fighter planes to counterattack. The same technology they got for that needs to be done digitally and counteract all that information that is trying to disrupt all this digital stuff. This is where we're at, people. We're probably gonna go to a digital war type thing too, because if you can send a drone to assassinate somebody, why, and I said this once before, you may get a time where they will defund the police, because technology is going to allow you to have drones to do the talking, the stuff. And they're going to be able to, what they're going to be able to do, either ride around in cars or some area or some hub and do what they need to do without putting themselves in danger. This is where I'm looking at what's going to be coming down the pike in the near future. I ain't talking about no 10 years, I'm talking about maybe 4 to 5 years. Okay? Because of what you know, because what's going on now, cops are getting hit left and right because of their actions, because of what they're doing. And they're saying, fuck this, this is not worth our energy and putting ourselves in danger. This is probably why people, you hear some people say, defund the police. Well, defund, redirect, whatever you want to call it, something's going to have to be done because they can't keep doing this shit the way they're doing. It ain't going to happen. Can't happen. Ain't going to work. So, other thing I was going to talk about, you know, I get this, I don't know how many of y'all on Facebook, on the social media. Social media is great. The problem with most people is that you guys get, a lot of you guys, and I'm talking about Gen X, Millennial, all the other ones, y'all get hyped up about followers. Okay? I hear so many people talking about, like now, Manny Chat has got this thing about automating Instagram, but the problem with that is limited to a certain group of people and how many followers they got. And I sit back to them and say, why do I need to have a certain amount of followers to take a hold of this? You guys get caught, these tech companies get caught up in this type of thing. In reality, followers don't mean shit. They need to change the name to stalkers because that's what they are. Why are you following something? You know, you get people get on these social media, they befriend you. Just because somebody befriends you, don't mean they up to any good. Okay? Yeah, you need to be very leery on how people befriend you, especially if they don't have any social media interaction or they don't have anything that shows that they're associated maybe with somebody you know, and stuff like that. There's a lot of now on social media, people hitting on people's profiles and trying to scam with some bullshit about, did you hear about so-and-so? You need to do this. Here's a number. They have no business, like we go back to this. Business about relationship. They talk to you as if they talked to you yesterday or they've known you since time immemorial. Right. Be leery of that kind of shit. You don't know these people. Be leery how they approach you on this social media. Be leery on how they befriend you. If you have no, and be watchful also, people, of how they talk to you online. I had this happen with, you know, friend Rudy, and a lot of people, I told my friend in Geneva, Switzerland, that you cannot leave your social media platform so inactive, because that's what sets it up to be hacked, to be duplicated, to be all that kind of stuff. And they're doing it now. They've gotten so bold that they're doing it when you do have activity on it.
Right.
Okay. Right. So you got to watch all this kind of stuff that's going on. And I tell them, at least once a week, get on there and do something. I see people that their social media just sitting there. Some people haven't engaged. I don't know. This is another thing. People that pass away, Facebook, y'all need to shut down deceased platforms. Unless the family are. Other than that, they need to be shut down.
Yeah.
I would take a look at, see if they're, this is my thing, the three things in the stages. You take a look at who they're associated with, what their posts say, who they're connected with. Okay? That will determine a lot on whether you should befriend those people or not. Mm-hmm. Don't just try to get or connect with people because you want to build this list or you want to build this audience. You want to build an audience, don't get me wrong, but there's a way of building an audience. It just don't get with everybody because you need a warm body. And that's just because you're gonna regret it afterwards. Your whole purpose of online audience building is really to to shift out certain people. And we can show you we got systems set in place to do that. And this part of the system, we shift out people all the time. All the time. That's why I say certain things, because the people who get me will understand. The people that won't, they will run. And that's fine. I want those people. If I only get 2 a month of people that get me, that's fine. Okay. In some businesses, network marketing, that's a millionaire if you got the right people.
Mhm.
But how, you gotta look at the numbers, not in the terms of quantity. You get to look at the numbers in the terms of quality. Too many of us in this thing are looking at quantity numbers. Quantity numbers is bullshit. It's like you got a lot of trash and you got, oh God, do I want this or that? Then you got to sift out. You should be sifting while you're building. Sift, build, self-build, self-build. They don't fit, yes, no, maybe, whatever. But never chase people about your business or anything. Always be yourself and make it a being attractive. You ain't gonna attract everybody. I don't try to attract everybody. I don't want to attract everybody. Any more last thoughts? Is 10 after 10. Shit.
I do what you mean. Well, hey, well, we appreciate that. We appreciate it, folks popping on. If you like what's been said, go ahead and share this video out. As Greg and I will say, have said, and we'll say again, we do this chat to reach out to the people who are in network marketing or are looking to start and build your home-based business. Again, we are the guy. We can direct you to the proper tools and skill sets that you will need to not only survive in this business but thrive in this business. And if you meet us halfway, we can definitely get your best foot forward and get your business to that next level. But just meet us halfway, and we'll be more than happy to work with you.
Yeah, because I'm not weird. Like I said, this is a business of leadership and attracting the right people, and I'm not going to chase you about it. If you get off on that stuff, you need to go somewhere else. Most of your good leaders and stuff will not chase you. Then they won't chase you about this business. They won't do any of that. They'll give you the information. They'll see, hey, this is where you can go and get so-and-so. And if you don't do it, that's on you. Because at the end of the day, you got to understand something. It's your business, not ours. We're going to build ours regardless if you join us or not. That's the attitude that any good leader or professional will have. And if that turns you off, if you're looking for somebody to hold your hand, you're looking in the wrong place. This ain't the platform for that. Network marketing in the real aspect is two things. It's there to build leadership. If you want to, you can build a mom and pop. Even in a mom and pop store, there's got to be some sort of leadership there to even make any money. Even in a mom and pop store, okay. Mm-hmm. If that's what you want, you still got to step up to the plate and do something and create other leaders. We ain't talking about trying to be MGM or anything like that. We're just talking about you got to be willing to step up to the plate, even as a mom and pop store. If you ain't willing to do that, that's what a JOB is for. JOB doesn't develop leadership. Very seldom. They don't want leadership. I'm telling you, a JOB does not want leadership. They want employees. You go, as I said, I'm unemployable because I'm not gonna go and approach anybody from an employee, standpoint. I'm gonna come from a business person standpoint, and they don't want that. They want employees. This is one of the reasons I think now the market is starving. These companies can't hire because I'm telling you, COVID changed the game. And nobody wants to go back to work for those $7 fucking an hour. They're quitting jobs because they don't want to go, they want to work from home. People want to work from home. They don't want to go back in the office. They don't want to go back and with the micromanaged bullshit. We can show you how to work from home. Most of you got the first tools. You just need some other tools and what is you want to sell or market. That's all it is.
Right.
And you just gotta be willing to do that. Ain't nothing afraid. You got internet. You know, even if you work at a job, we can show you how to automate certain things. And I automate certain things because I don't want to be stuck on a damn computer every day. When I got into network marketing, online marketing, all that stuff, I didn't get in it to get another job. I got to get out of a job. I hated working for somebody else. I hated micromanaging fools telling me what I can and cannot do. I hated that shit. To this day, I'm almost balling out my fist right now thinking about that. I can't stand bosses. Bosses. What's the acronym for boss? Big, obstinate, shit fuck. Oh, I'm gonna think of can't stand them motherfuckers. If I had always bad experiences with supervisors and bosses, they've been, and they most of the time been motherfuckers from Mississippi. Can't stand that state. Anybody from Mississippi, that's just been my experience.